Today's episode is sponsored by Geeklery. Geeklery is a curated collection of artisan-made jewelry and goods inspired by our favorite fandoms and things in pop culture. My personal favorite thing about Geeklery is that they have so many one-of-a-kind or limited edition products that their collection changes all the time. They also donate 5% of their sales to Pop Culture Classroom, which is working to inspire a love of learning, increase literacy, celebrate diversity, and build community through the tools of pop culture. If you want to check them out, go to geeklery.com and follow them all over the internet at Geeklery. Before today's episode, we want to thank a couple of our Patreon sponsors. In case you didn't know this, Patreon is the main way that we fund all the things that we do at The Sartorial Geek, so we really appreciate every single person who has gone to patreon.com/sartorialgeek and joined one of our rewards levels. This week, we want to thank Michelle, Lisa, Kelsey, Laura, Carolyn, and Catherine. We really, really appreciate you, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. Hey, welcome to the Sartorial Geek podcast. I'm Jordan today, and I am here with Nicole Harris. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. Getting pretty excited about this Kickstarter we've got going. How are you?
Yeah, good. We're here to talk about your Kickstarter that at the time we're recording launched a few days ago, but it will still be up for many days after this episode comes out, so everyone can check it out. But it is the Wic Candle Company Goddess Edition Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So this is your first Kickstarter. Congratulations. That's always like super nerve-wracking, but it looks awesome and it's going great so far. You guys are almost at 50% when we're recording, just a few days in. So that's super exciting. But why don't you tell us like what the project is and what you're making?
Yeah. So Wic Candle Company is handmade soy candles. They come in 3 different sizes. So a 4-ounce tin, a 10-ounce handmade cement vessel, and then a 17-ounce handmade cement vessel. So with those guys, those are kind of the specialty, what we're going for. I had started looking for candle vessels. I was buying a bunch of candles during the pandemic, home a lot more, burning a lot of candles. I had friends buying like fandom candles that I kept missing out on. And I was like, man, like I should do this. I am very passionate about my fandoms. I can't find Buffy candles. I can't find like the Star Wars candles I want. So I started looking into it, started looking at like different containers. I knew I wanted like a small, medium, and large size. And I couldn't find any matching medium and larges that I liked. And so I was talking to my roommate and he was like, well, why don't you just make your own? I was like, what does that look like? We came up with the idea of cement, but cement is not recyclable. And I didn't want to be creating a ton of waste. And so what can we do? And I had just bought a cement planter that as soon as I got it home broke.
That's so sad.
I know it is. I took a picture of it to compare because it was too thin. Like the cement had been poured too thin. And so I was just like, man, this sucks. But like the candles could turn into planters. And then I was looking at it and the one that had broke didn't have any drainage. And I am really bad with plants, but like even I know that plants need drainage. They need somewhere for the water to go. And so I started looking into how that would work, like high heat plugs. And so all of our cement planters or cement vessels turn into cement planters when they're done. The lids double as a water catch. So you just slide it underneath when your candle's done. And any drainage goes into like a little cement surface so that it doesn't come out on your tables, stuff like that.
So awesome. I've always loved plants. Those are sort of my, like, I don't have pets or children, so plants are like my babies.
Your plant mom.
Yeah, totally. And especially during the pandemic, it was like, I'm spending so much time inside. I need something else alive around. So I like truly appreciate the value of having plants inside. And one of my friends who is equally as into houseplants as me was doing something similar with just glass candle. Like, I mean, I feel like candles and plants are like the thing that a lot of us have just leaned into really hard in the past year. And so she was doing the same thing with glass candle jars. But the problem with that is like she had to get a whole tool set to like drill her own drainage holes. And you need to really put a lot of energy into doing that if that's what you want to do. So the fact that these are like ready to go is amazing. And then it's dual purpose.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because duality is really like something I lean pretty heavily into in my life. I have like a giant back piece it's a Persephone tattoo. And it's because I've always really valued the fact that like, not only does she represent spring and growth and life, but she represents death. Like she's the queen of the underworld. And that's kind of how this theme came to be the first theme. The artist, Allie Nasr, who's actually been on your podcast before with her Star Wars band.
Yes.
She was working on my logo and I had some ideas and I was like pinning all of these ideas of logos I liked. And I like leaned a little too heavy into the plant on the logos and she added it in. And I was like, well, it was pre us going into the planter idea. I was like, that doesn't really like flow with anything. And then we added the planter idea and it was perfect. And then she was like, well, hey, this kind of like looks like your tattoo. Like you've got the burning of the candle and like the rebirth. And she was like, what if I know you're super into goddesses and mythology. Like you have all of these books, you're all about it. That should be your first collection. We had been talking, again, Allie's in a Star Wars band. So that spoilers, that's our next collection is in that direction.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. We've already got like all the scents and everything picked out. But she was like, this should be it. This should be like the first thing. And I was like, yeah, you're right. What other goddesses did I grow up loving? Because that was really my first fandom. Like I remember being in school and being like, oh my gosh, these women are so badass. Like we learned about Norse mythology and Egyptian mythology and Roman and Greek. And I was like, these women get a lot of crap in these stories, but like these goddesses are really cool.
Yeah. No, and especially, I don't know if you are a Lore Olympus fan, but
oh yes. I haven't taken the picture yet, but I got the art for Artemis from Allie already. We're waiting until we hit 50% to show that to the world. But I already like printed it out and everything. And I have the Persephone candle and the Artemis candle sitting next to each other. And I'm like, I just need Rachel used Band-Aid to see these two and be like, oh, they're roommates again.
Right.
I just need the Lore Olympus fandom to really like somehow this get on their page and then be like, oh crap, because they're my people.
Yeah. If anyone, we've talked about Lore Olympus on this podcast so many times, but if you're listening and you're into mythology in a really interesting and beautiful like modern twist, Lore Olympus is a webtoon that I think it's like the most popular webtoon that exists.
It's so good.
It's number one, or at least like it normally is on the homepage. And it's incredible. So if you're vibing with this, go read that too.
Yeah, definitely. You can burn our candles while you read through the webtoon.
Yes.
And I know she just released a bunch of new stock on Hot Topic. And I was like, I need to buy these sweatshirts for everybody who's working on the on the Kickstarter so we can just like burn candles and wear our Lore Olympus sweatshirt.
That's the best. But like not that mythology is having a moment, like it has been around for so long, but I do feel like it's one of those things that some of us, and like I'm guilty of this, learned about it in school, and in my head it was sort of like that was homework thing, and then it took
was a school topic.
It took a while to be like, oh, as an adult, I'm still super into this, and these stories are amazing.
And there's so many like good rewrites. As we were taking product shots, I was going through my bookcase and I was like, okay, I need to find like one or two. I know I have like direct mythology books because I'm that weirdo who goes to Powell's and goes to like the textbooks, and I have like mythology textbooks. But I was like, I have to have some like rewrites or something. And I showed up to Mallory's house to do our Kickstarter video with like 20 books. And she was like, and I was like, well, I went through and I apparently have a lot more mythology books than I thought I did. So here we are.
Yeah, but that's awesome. I mean, the stories are amazing. And I think it's very cool that like so many of the gods and goddesses have like, different stories, different versions, different meanings, so that, they mean different things to different people. It's very cool.
And I like that we're getting to see, I didn't feature any of these in this collection because I don't feel like I have the knowledge to properly tell their stories, but I do feel like we are getting a lot more Asian culture and African culture mythology tales coming through, which I just think is so awesome because they're ones that like we weren't taught in school and I never took the time to look into them. And now they're being like having all of these retellings and it brings it to light. So I've like been Googling. I'm like, oh, who was this based off of? What other stories are they about? So it's definitely, I'm glad it's having its moment and that we're getting to see more diverse characters and mythos being brought to light.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited that, I don't know, I feel like this is just such a fun combination of so many great things. And I'm excited that this Kickstarter is happening now. And I think that our listeners are going to love it. Can you explain the props for having a very, very straightforward and easy to understand reward system? Because sometimes Kickstarters are like, wait, what is each tier? So it's like pretty straightforward what the options are if you want to tell people like what kinds of things they can shop at your Kickstarter right now.
Yeah. So that's something I know a lot of Kickstarters you can like do at, or like each tier you get the things before it. That doesn't really work for the candles simply because you would end up with 500 candles by the time you reach the top tier, which we're all about, but it would get really expensive. So we've got the individual 4-ounce tins. You can pick your goddesses. We've got Persephone, Artemis, Freya, and Bastet. And then you've got your full set of 4-ounce tins, which includes the entire goddess collection. And it is it's a 6-ounce tin, but it is 4 ounces of candle. I've found in doing research that it's very interesting to see how things are displayed. The candle companies are very, very sneaky about how they display and tell you what's in your candles and how much candle you are getting. So I say 4-ounce tin. It is bigger than that, but you are getting 4 ounces of solid candle.
Yeah, sweet.
And then you go on to the 10-ounce cement candle and planter. You can pick your own there as well. And then you get a physical copy of burn instructions. That is something that, and the ones before that, you get the lower tiers, you get digital copies of burn instructions just to help you elongate the life of your candle. A lot of times people will notice that things are burning black or they get really large flames, and it's because they're not burning their candles properly. You're not trimming your wick. So we really wanted to make sure that everybody's getting the most out of their candle. It's burning for the longest amount of time. It's burning properly for you. We're staying away from all those fire hazards. So
Right.
just real good, detailed, pictured instructions on how to take care of your candles and burn them properly. And then when we get into the cement ones, you also will get a physical plant pairing suggestion card.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not something you don't have to plant these plants, but we're pairing them with the goddesses, like ones that we thought would go well with them after you've burned through your candle and with the art that's on it. Yeah, so super fun. The 10-ounce definitely will be better fitted for smaller rooted candles because it is a smaller cement container. I currently have a pepper in mine and some basil in another one. And then you move on to the 17-ounce cement candle and planter. Again, you get to choose your goddess. You get the physical copy of the burn instructions and the physical plant pairing suggestion card. After that, we get to full sets of them. So you've got your full set of 10-ounce cement candles and planters. You're going to get the physical burn, physical plant pairing, and then we're also going to start including stickers at that level. So that is on the cement is the full-size art that Allie has designed for us. It's supposed to be something that you can leave out on your table, your counters, that just looks pretty. We're not leaning super heavy in any of the collections into very in your face, what I kind of refer to as like the pop Funko,
Right.
like direct message in decor, very subtle, very pretty, something you can like gift to your mom and her not realize that you just gave her a nerdy candle. So the stickers that go on the tins, the labels that go on the tins will be smaller size of that, a little simplified. And so we will be sending out a set of 4 circle stickers when you get the full set of 10-ounce or 17-ounce cement candles and planters.
That's what I got. I was like, I can't pick. And also, I love candles. And also, I love planters. So let's just
thanks,
do
Jordan.
that one.
Yeah.
And also, like, cement looks so cool. I've had a couple different like decorative pieces that are cement. I mean, that goes with my aesthetic and design super well, but I also feel like it kind of goes with everyone's, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thanks. And then I haven't updated them because I was almost going to use them as spoilers, but I do have stretch goals that aren't up there, and they include a 5th scent option for add-on, which I've already got picked out. I didn't purposefully leave out Roman mythology. So we have a Roman goddess that's included if we hit that goal. And then we have a couple where we're just adding some goodies in. So the first one will include a 5x7 signed piece of art by Allie. We will try and pair them up with whatever you picked for your goddesses in the candles, but it'll just be a full print of one of the goddess arts signed by Allie. So that's like a fun one. We're looking at doing custom matches to add in.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So more things added into all of the orders if we hit those stretch goals, but I'll be adding those up this week.
I love stretch goals like that. They're so exciting.
Yeah, it's so fun. I tried to like alternate. You get like something added in and then like a bonus add-on option and then something added in and then a bonus add-on option. Yeah, I like those types of stretch goals as well.
So cool. I don't know if this will be possible. I guess it is. I was going to ask if you could describe like what some of the scents are like, but I also know that that's kind of tricky.
No, yeah, I can do my best.
Yeah. I think that's a thing people can do.
Yeah, no, that's something we definitely, it's funny because my mom is such like a sweet or a citrus like scent person. And so she's like, can you just make one that smells like pecan pralines? And I'm like, no, mom, like we're going with what I think the goddesses smell like.
Yeah, I don't know if that really works.
Yeah, that doesn't, Persephone would not have a pecan praline candle, Mom. I appreciate her enthusiasm, but she's like, well, what about citrus or what about this? And I'm like, eventually I will probably find one that matches that or something along those lines. I've been working on a Sabrina line and Aunt Hilda has like very bakery,
that's
like
true.
baker vibes. And so that one will be like a sweeter one, but I was like, it has to fit the character, Mom.
Yes.
So Persephone has a strong cedar wood smell, some pomegranate undertones with a little bit of musk on the end. So definitely, I hate to like use these words, but I think that it helps people get an image. It's got a more masculine scent to it with like a hint of sweet in there as well. So I probably shouldn't say these things out loud, but I think Artemis is my favorite one. And then Persephone and Bastet tie. I am not, and I'll get to her, but I'm not a floral person. And so Freya and I had some talks, but Artemis Ascent is a jasmine comes through very high on the top, some bergamot and leather. Leather was really the reason that I picked this scent for Artemis because I just picture her like out in the woods hunting. That like really came through for me. So you do get some of the softer notes of the jasmine, but it's still got like a good, like woodsy kind of rough scent to it. And then Freya, lots of florals. I pick up the peony more than the rose, but lots of florals, argarwood, and some oud in there. It is very floral on the top, but it's not overpowering. Like I could probably burn Freya in my house and not hate my life. I've never been like a floral person. I've never had a floral candle burn in my house, but the oud and the argarwood help balance it out so it's not overpowering. The floral notes are there, definitely, but it's not like in your face laying in a bed of flowers.
That's the thing though about like, you need to strike the balance of like, people love floral candles. So it's an important thing.
Exactly. I have someone else like test burning Freya for me because they love floral. And I was like, this is perfect. You can test burn her. Like I will stick with my like woodsy, dark scents that I would like get being out in the woods, and you can stick with the roses. Like, so it's been really nice, but I do know that people definitely have different noses. And then we've got Bastet. What really called to me for hers was the cypress. It just jumped out in my head as Egypt. Like I was like, yeah, cypress. And you've got some sage scents there and a hint of some citrus as well.
I can't wait to smell these in person. They all sound so good.
It's hard because candles technically with soy, so with paraffin, you can burn them next day, no problem. All of our candles have 0 paraffin in them. They're 100% soy-coconut wax. And so you're supposed to let them sit for 2 weeks before you burn them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so it's been really hard. I mean, I've been test burning them pre that just to make sure that they are fine fire-wise, but they don't put out as much scent right away because you have to let the scent like really soak into the wax. And so you're supposed to wait 2 weeks. So it's been hard because I want to get like testers out to like you and to Robin and everybody so that they can like start smelling them so that you guys can actually like know what they smell like and know that they're awesome. I'm like, okay, well, I have to wait 2 weeks. I at least have to wait a week and a half. I just burnt a bunch or poured a bunch of them and then it'll take a couple days to ship. So I guess I can start shipping them like in a couple days. I definitely should have poured a bunch of them pre the Kickstarter launching so that I could get them out. But we've just been working hard on the molds and making sure that we had the right wax and the right scents and the right cement, and cement's tricky.
And it's impossible to do a first Kickstarter the way, like exactly the way you want it to. You always are like, oh, oops, that should have happened a different way.
Right. I could have done that differently, but that's okay.
This is so exciting. What day does it end for people who are listening? And also where can people like follow you? And yeah, what's the best way for them to find the Kickstarter and future projects that you're working on?
So the Kickstarter ends June 5th at 9 a.m. So you can find us on Kickstarter. It is the Wic Candle Co. Goddess Edition. I am also on Facebook. I'm not as active on Facebook as I probably should be, but I am also on Facebook as Wic Candle Company. We are on Instagram as Wic_Candle_Company. And then we're on Twitter as Wic Candle Company. And we do have a website. It is wiccandlecompany.com. If you go there right now, there is nothing. Hopefully by the time this is out, it will be there. And that's where you'll be able to find future collections. Those will all be limited release as well. That's kind of the vibe we're going with. Long releases, but limited releases. And then, yeah, I'm definitely most active on Instagram and Twitter. I share a lot of like behind the scenes stuff on Twitter because it's easy to words there. I don't have to have this beautiful picture and all of that stuff. But yeah, I'm on all 3 of those things. No TikTok. I just haven't gotten there yet. I don't know if I will get there.
Man. I'm like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Those 3 places.
Yeah. It's just WIC. I can't remember if we said that already.
Yeah, it is just WIC Candle Company. I don't know how it happened. I was like, ooh, I want to make candles, I think. And then I wrote out Wic without the K because I was like, oh, there's so many candle companies that have the K in it. And I was like, okay, well, let me look into this. And then I sent it to my best friend and she was like, are you going for like a Wicca vibe? And I was like, no, but like not no.
Right.
That's not like, I don't practice. That's not my thing. I'm not there, but I remember somebody asked me about this and I was like, when I was little, I definitely like thought I was magic and I'm trying to drag that into my company. I never want to like lose those feeling like I'm magic and I have that power within me. So it's definitely not like a Wicca based company, but we've all got magic in us. So why not?
I love that. I'm so excited to see this Kickstarter happen. I also realized if any of you follow me on Kickstarter, you can look in the projects that I've backed and find this. Yeah.
I actually got a notification. That's how I found out you backed me, Jordan. I got an email that was like, Jordan Danae Ellis backed Wic Candle Co. Goddess Edition. And I was like, oh, she did. I like took a screenshot of it and sent it to Mallory. I was like, look.
I have to give a shout out to our friend Tara, Theo Harris, who's the geeky hostess. Like, she was the first person to back our last Kickstarter. And I find so many cool Kickstarters from following her. Like, I got the email from her and I was like, oh, great. So, it's just a chain of people supporting each other.
Oh man, I need to go follow Tara on Kickstarter.
Yeah, she finds all the good stuff. It's great.
I actually met her through a Jordan Dene photo shoot. So
that's right. Yeah. She's a West Coast lady too.
Yeah. Mallory's always like, my friend so-and-so. And I'm like, I've met them. We did photos together for Jordan.
That was wonderful.
Bringing us all together, Jordan.
Yeah. I love it. I hope that everyone who's listening, who's obsessed with plants and or candles and or mythology and or other future fandoms follows you. And I think this is going to be such a cool project and such a cool company. I'm so excited. Thanks so much for chatting with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to our episode. If you want to hear more like this, you can subscribe to the Sartorial Geek podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to help us out, you can leave us a rating or a review or head to patreon.com/sartorialgeek. Thank you so much. Have a great day.